Hey folks, ever wonder what separates the financially savvy from the rest? What if I told you the secret could be real estate investment? Hey, welcome back to our channel, Living in Fort Lauderdale with Kevin Sues. I'm Kev. So, and folks, but just kind of hold on for a second. This isn't about jumping on the first property you see. The real question is, are you ready to navigate the complexities and opportunities that it presents? But folks, let's be real. Diving into real estate investment is no casual plunge into a cool pool on a hot day. It's kind of more like navigating these unpredictable waves of the ocean. And folks, as we indicated in our prior video, it demands strategy, insight, and yes, a little bit of courage and a little bit of luck. Because we're in this journey together, I'll share some golden nuggets of wisdom, not just to get you started, but also maybe to propel you a little forward. So let's go ahead and continue our two-part video series as we dive together into the advantages and challenges of embarking in this adventurous journey in real estate investment. As we previously indicated, investing in South Florida's real estate market has long been attractive for a variety of reasons, okay? It's the warm climate, the vibrant culture, the booming tourism, just being just a few, okay? But the allure also stems from our region's reputation for having a dynamic property market that caters to both residential, full-time residential, and to investors and investment properties. But folks, I guess the real question is it reasonable to invest in South Florida real estate these days? Whether it's reasonable to invest in South Florida real estate kind of depends upon a number of factors. Market conditions are definitely being one of them, investment goals and financial resources. Folks, the real estate market is known for its cyclical nature. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, sometimes market conditions are favorable, sometimes they're not. But there are always fluctuations in property values, rental rates, and of course demand. Given these dynamics, potential investors should conduct a very thorough market research, consider the long-term trends as part of their long-term goals, also taking a look at short-term trends and short-term goals, okay? And we would strongly suggest that you consult with experts like my team and I that are we're local experts here in the South Florida real estate market. We know what's going on almost down to a micro neighborhood level, okay? And folks, and there are a number of questions that we get asked all the time. So we're going to kind of delve into some of those real quick. First question is obviously, how much money do you need? I mean, is it feasible to kind of ease into the South Florida real estate market? Well, folks, the answer is it really depends. It depends upon, the initial capital that is required to invest can vary widely on property type, property location, and your overall investment strategy. For residential properties, single family homes, condos, your down payments can range anywhere from 20 to 25% of the purchase price. Sometimes if you're getting into multifamily properties or you're getting into multi-unit properties, it could be starting at 30% down. Okay. Now, additionally, okay, folks, you need to take a look at some of the immediate costs that you may incur: renovation costs, property management and maintenance costs, insurance. Okay. And you also need to have a little bit of a hedge fund there for potential vacancies. If you're going to spend a little bit of time getting the property renovated, perhaps you're able to go ahead and find a property that's a little bit below market value and put some money into it. You're going to have a period of time where you're not going to be generating any income or any revenue. Now, folks, kind of given these variables, the investments can range anywhere from tens of thousands to several millions of dollars. It just really depends upon what you're looking at. Again, making it all the more important to reach out and ask questions to folks like us. Okay. But, ultimately investing in the South Florida's real estate market can be lucrative. Okay. But it requires careful planning, awareness of the risks, and a clear understanding of the financial commitments involved. So welcome to our channel, Living in Fort Lauderdale with Kevin Sues. We, as much as we love doing our videos, and we truly do, one of the things that we really love is helping folks out with any real estate related questions about anything going on here in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, or any of the surrounding areas. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us any questions. Give us a phone call, shoot us a little text, DM us, drop us a note, drop us a comment below, okay? And also you can click the link and set up a time where we can chat for about 45 minutes about all the questions that you may have. And with this market, with the way this market is right now and things that are going on here in South Florida and things that are going on more specifically in the Fort Lauderdale and surrounding areas, there's a lot of questions folks have. Please feel free to go ahead and reach out and let us know. if you would consider subscribing to our channel, hit the subscribe, okay? Hit the bell to get notified every time we drop a video. And please, if you like what we say, let us know. If you don't like what we say or don't agree with it, that's okay too. We want to hear from everybody. So, we mentioned some of the financial aspects of it and some of the challenges in our previous video. We talked about some of the pros and some of the advantages of investing in Florida, in South Florida real estate. So now we're going to kind of talk about some of the financial considerations and some of the challenges that you may incur in looking at investing. So, first of all, the cost of entry. Some of the financial conditions are definitely the cost of entry. I mean, the initial purchase price of properties in South Florida can be very, very high, especially if you're looking into, desirable coastal areas. You're looking into luxury markets like Miami Beach, the Keys, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, Boca Raton, Delray Beach. Those are areas where you can run into some pretty high property values. It's not unusual to find properties that are going to that in order to rent out for that $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month rental rates that you want to achieve, everybody's dreaming to get. You're going to be getting in it. Your entry point is probably something north of $2 or $3 million. It could even be as high as $5 or $6 million. So that's one of the things, your cost of entry. The second thing comes with insurance costs. Okay, now everybody's heard about it. We've done numerous videos about it. We talk about it in almost every one of our videos. Okay, but South Florida specifically, and Florida generally, is experiencing a surge in insurance costs. Now, the good news is that those costs are beginning to actually reduce. They're coming down, and in some cases they're starting to retreat a little bit. So there is some a little bit of hope on the horizon for the insurance costs. Property taxes. This is probably one of the biggest questions we get asked outside of how much does it cost. It's like, well, how come the taxes are so much? Well, folks, keep in mind the property taxes are a function of the value of the property. So when you're looking at a piece of property that hasn't had any improvements or any changes in a number of years, the taxes have not actually caught up what's going on in the surrounding area. So you'll see the taxes that you'll see are not necessarily going to be indicative of the taxes that you're ultimately going to pay, because when you go ahead and purchase a property, okay, they're going to go ahead and basically reset the tax calculator on it from the standpoint of what you paid. Now, there are ways to mitigate that. And again, reaching out, ask us a couple of quick questions, drop some questions in the box below. We can certainly give you some details on how to do that. We work with appraisers, we work with lenders, we work with real estate attorneys that can kind of help navigate some of that. But just as a rule of thumb, when you go ahead, as soon as you purchase that property, you can pretty much bank on the fact that the taxes are going to be higher than initially indicated. How much higher is going to be a question of how well you do your homework and how quickly we can get the information out to you. Okay. Now the other thing is maintenance and upkeep. So one of the things that we've seen a lot of is folks are looking to come down and they want to do kind of a hybrid type of an investment. They like to come down and maybe stay in the property themselves over the holidays or come down during the summer or whatever else, and whatever time's available to them, and because they're not really ready to make that full-time jump to relocate to South Florida, but they want to rent it out while they're not there. Okay, great idea. Okay, if you're not going to rent it out full-time, then you might as well get some use out of it. Okay, so you talk about maintenance and upkeep. Okay, now the cost of maintaining a property, especially a rental or vacation home, it can add up. And if you're going short-term rentals, we'd encourage you to take a look at some of our videos on short-term rentals. Those maintenance costs can creep up very, very quickly depending upon the number of times you rent it out over a given period. Now, don't forget, maintenance, if it's a single family home, maintenance can also include repairs. It can also include working pool maintenance. You want to make sure that you're doing maintenance, your yard remains clean, your yard remains cut, hedges remain trimmed, and everything else. So the property remains very, very attractive. The last thing you want to have happen is for you to rent your property out and somebody come down there and say that, and basically says, hey, it doesn't look like it did in the picture, and I'm not interested in renting the property. Very, very, very bad karma, very bad things that goes on. So now some of the other challenges we run up against that are not necessarily financial in nature is, of course, market volatility. Okay. Now, as I said before, our real estate market it's very cyclical. Okay. And, depending upon time of year and depending upon what's going on in the overall economy, it can become rather volatile. We have things like hurricanes, we have the global economy. Sometimes there's changes that are going on in tax laws. There's also legislation that's going on now that could impact some of the short-term rentals. Folks, again, Garen, we would suggest that you take a look at the videos that we've put out on short-term rentals and on the new legislation that could potentially adversely impact the short-term rental market here in South Florida, as well as all over the state of Florida. Again, leading into there's regulatory changes, there's zoning changes, there's rules and regulations. Okay. The other thing is that there's competition. Okay. Now, Some folks they live and die by going to the beach. Some folks want to go to the golf courses. Some folks want to be equidistant between the two. Okay, you want to make sure that you're choosing the right properties. But as you choose more and more attractive properties and more desirable locations, okay, you're going to run into more and more competition. So you need to make sure you take that into consideration and determine what your competitive strategy is going to be. So so some of the questions that we get asked a lot, and some of the questions that you should probably look to consider. Okay, what is, like, for example, what's an expected return on your investment, or ROI as we call it, on South Florida? Okay, now ROI can vary greatly depending upon property type and location, but generally, as a rule of thumb, you should be looking for an ROI, return on your investment, in the range of 8 to 12%. Now, the question is, what is ROI and how's it calculated? Okay, there's this all great, wondrous, complex calculations. But folks, at the end of the day, it comes down to this. It comes down to what your net operating income is at the end of the year, your gross income less your expenses, okay, divided by the purchase price or the acquisition price of the property. It's going to give you a percentage. You want that percentage to be at least 7 or 8, okay? And the higher up you get, the better it's going to be. The other thing is that how much should I really budget for property management and property maintenance? Okay, folks, your maintenance is probably going to be anywhere between 1 to 4%. Really depends upon where you are. If you're in a condo, and maybe a little bit lower, because a lot of that's going to be taken care of by the condo association. If you're in a community with an HOA, some of that will be picked up by the HOA. But if you're in a non-HOA community in a single family home, start looking at anywhere between 3 to 4% for the maintenance cost. For property management, if you choose to have somebody else manage your property for you, look to be paying about 8 to 12% of your monthly rental income for management fees. Now, we've had this question asked a number of times, okay, and I have some tongue-in-cheek answers for it, okay. But what do the impact of hurricanes have on investor properties? Obviously, beyond the immediate damage and potential insurance costs going on, the threat or the fear of hurricanes can adversely impact others' perceptions of your properties. It can actually cause a reduction in the number of people that may be interested in your property, in renting your property. Okay, folks, you could have the most beautiful property and the best location, but if all of a sudden we start getting a bunch of hurricane threats or hurricane warnings, okay, folks who are not familiar with that, they may get a little skittish, may get a little scared off. So just kind of keep that in mind from that. Now, the other question is that I get asked this every single day, whether I'm on the phone, whether I'm in the supermarket, or whether I'm actually going out to grab a bite to eat. Okay. Is it a good time to invest in South Florida real estate? Okay. Now, folks, market timing can be very, very challenging to predict. Okay. And it's really essential to analyze the market conditions, interest rates, and long-term rentals. But from the standpoint of, we have 2 seasons here in South Florida. We have the high season that typically runs from October to April, and then we have the low season, which runs from like May through September. Okay, a lot of folks will come down here in the October to April timeframe to look to see where they want to be, where they want to live, and if there is an opportunity for them to buy property. They'll use the low season to come back down and look at properties and make a decision to buy that. Okay, so but again, it's something that you need to take a look at yourself, and you need to ask yourself, what is your risk tolerance? What's the amount of capital that you're willing to commit initially, and what can you handle from the standpoint of a monthly ongoing potential cost? We all want to have monthly positive cash flow, but unfortunately, the reality is that not all properties get rented immediately, and not all properties get rented continuously. So something to kind of keep in mind. So look, keep those factors in mind, keep those things in mind. If you have any specific questions that you want to ask, drop them in the box below. Let us know. We'll get back to you as soon as possible with the answers. Folks, if you remember, I told you we'd give you some tips and strategies about how to enter into the real estate market if this is a new thing for you, into real estate investing. Some things that may be gentle reminders for those of you that have been doing this for a little while, and maybe have kind of migrated away from some of your core principles. Okay, first. Okay, do your homework. Okay, it's like anything else you're going to do, whether it's crypto, whether it's investing in currency, whether it's investing in the stock market, do your homework. Okay, you need to understand the local market dynamics. Okay, you need to look at price trends. You need to look at rental demand. You need to look at area development. There are areas that are going through significant redevelopment, so there may be some opportunities to get properties that are at less than market value because of what's going on. Okay, but focus on areas that have strong growth potential. Okay, or as I said, they're going through regentrification in that area, so to make the area more beautiful and more desirable going forward. Folks, financial planning, okay? I mean, again, if you don't plan for it, it's not going to happen. So you need to make sure that you have a clear picture of not only what's going on, but your financial capacity and capabilities. Upfront capital, okay? Your mortgage arrangements if you're going to finance, okay? And you also need to make sure that you have that buffer for unexpected or unanticipated expenses, okay? Risk management, okay, folks. We've said this many times, okay? Real estate investment is not necessarily risk adverse for the risk adverse. It is one of these things where you can make a significant amount of money, but the more money that you're going to make, the greater the return is going to be offset by an increase in the risk. Okay. The other thing is that, we're realtors. Okay. We're not accountants. We're not attorneys. We're realtors. We can help you with finding the properties. We can help you identify the areas that are great. But for some of these questions around financials and some of these questions around legal and regulatory, we strongly suggest that you reach out to other experts, other acknowledged experts. Reach out to the attorneys. Reach out to your accountant. Talk to them. Find out what it is you can do. Find out what the advantages are. Maybe there's some tax advantages for investing in real estate. There may be some legal or regulatory challenges that you're not aware of that you need to be aware of depending upon what it is that you want to do. The other thing is property management. This is almost kind of a coin toss for folks. We've had folks that have decided that they're going to have this run remotely from outside of the area or outside of the state. Okay, they're going to try to do it themselves. Inevitably, it doesn't really work out that well for them, so they end up going to property management. We also have folks that live right down the street, but they don't want to get that phone call at 2:00 in the morning from their tenant that basically says, "Hey, there's no more Charmin on the roll. Can you come over and put another roll on for me at 2:00 on a Sunday morning?" Okay, or those kind of things. Folks, if you think I'm joking, I'm not. It's happened, and it's happened to us. Okay. Now, one of the things we would suggest, in addition to building a network with realtors such as ourselves, build a network with local property managers, talk to local contractors, okay, and other investors. Look for networking opportunities and networking groups around those types of opportunities so that you can get some feedback from them. Okay. And above all else, stay informed. Okay. You need to find out what's going on. You need to look at market trends. Check out what's going on in the area. Hit our website. Take a look at what the properties are selling for, but not just that. Take a look at what properties in the areas that you're interested in. Take a look at what they're renting for. That'll give you a very, very good indication as to what you can expect as far as rental income on a monthly basis. If it's short term or long term, you can get an idea as to what kind of rental income you can expect. So, we've a couple of the other little more detailed questions, how to identify the best areas for investment in South Florida. Okay. You need to focus on areas, folks, that have strong rental demand. Okay. Now, short-term rentals, huge by the beach, huge close to the golf course. Now, but those are rental opportunities that are very, very short in duration, and you may find yourself going through 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different renters in a 30-day period. Okay. There are some costs and there are some challenging logistics that are involved with doing that. Okay. The other thing is, what should I be looking for in an investment property? Okay. The rule of thumb is if it's a property that you like in an area that you would feel comfortable going to, that you'd find desirable, chances are other people will too. So that's one of the best things. If it's someplace that you yourself wouldn't go, don't bother, because nobody else will probably go there either. The other thing is, how can I accurately estimate rental income and expenses? Okay, folks, again, use our website if you want to research rental rates on the areas that you're interested in. And if you're not really sure, go back and just type in for rentals and see what they are. Single family homes in Deerfield Beach, single family homes in Fort Lauderdale, single family homes in Pompano Beach, single family homes in Las Olas, single family homes wherever you're looking for, or condos, seaside condos, oceanfront condos, waterfront condos. Take a look and see what the rental rates are in that area. There's a lot of tools that are available to you. Also, we look at tools like niche.com to give us some insight into the areas. Now, we've talked about this kind of a couple times already. How do I manage my property from afar? It really depends upon how involved you want to be and how many trips you want to make down, and whether you're looking at a long-term rental or a short-term rental. If you don't want to deal with any of that, hire a reputable property management company. They are worth their weight in gold. The ones that do it right, they're worth their weight in gold. We'd encourage you to talk to at least 2 or 3, find out what they charge, what they do, what you're going to get for what they're going to charge you. So, what strategies can I use to minimize vacancies? Folks, 2 things real quick. You want to be in an area that's highly desirable, and you want to make sure that your property looks highly desirable. If you don't keep your property clean, if you don't keep it going, if you get bad reviews from VRBO or for any of the other short-term rental places, that's not going to help you. That's not going to help you. You want to make sure that your property looks like it's warm, welcoming, and available. People would want to go there. So I mean, that's kind of that's kind of it in the in a nutshell. Okay, but again, as we said, making it works means doing your homework, okay, and understanding local laws. Okay, pick the right neighborhoods, pick the right locations. Okay, and yes, folks, sometimes it means coming down here and getting your hands dirty. There's been a number of times we've gone in and actually worked with some of our clients to get things taken care of, get things cleaned up. We've uncovered some things that just before closing or just right after closing that we didn't really get any indication of. It's not a problem. It's just something that needs to be done. Folks, by addressing some of these questions and by following some of our strategies that we've outlined for you, you can navigate a lot of these complexities of the market and work towards achieving very, very successful outcomes. So folks, that about wraps up our dive into the dynamic world of South Florida real estate investment. Okay, it's not just about acquiring assets. It's about embracing a lifestyle rich in opportunities. Okay, but it's also about making informed decisions to steer your investment journey towards success. Remember, the path to success begins with a single well-informed step, a little bit of sunshine to brighten the way, doesn't really hurt, okay, and not a small amount of luck to kind of give you the kind of the edge, the push in the right direction. So if this has helped, if this has sparked any curiosity, we'd love to hear from you guys. Don't hesitate to reach out with any questions you might have or insights you might like to share. Please feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, go ahead and shoot us an email. Click on that little calendar link at the bottom. Set up a time for the next 45 minutes so we can chit chat about real estate investment or any other real estate topics here in South Florida. So folks, we're here to help you decode the complexities, kind of unlock the opportunities waiting under the Florida sun. And we'll see you next time.